Accounting in Technology. In this study unit, 1. Introduction. Society is becoming more dependent upon computer and communications technology. Many would argue that we have left the industrial age behind, and the information age has taken over. 2. Blockchain. A blockchain has been described as a decentralized, distributed and public digital ledger that is used to record transactions across many computers so that the record cannot be altered retroactively without the alteration of all subsequent blocks and the consensus of the network. Alternatively, it has been defined by the Bank of England as a technology that allows people who do not know each other to trust a shared record of events. It is used in cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. In blockchain, transactions are basically publicly stored to form a shared ledger in verification. Park, Kim, and Ryu, 2020. 2.1 Benefits of a blockchain. The main benefit of blockchain is security. In the digital era, cybersecurity is a key risk associated with the use of IT systems and the Internet. This is because traditional systems have been closed, and so modifications to data have been carried out by just one party. If the system is hacked, there is little control over such modification to prevent it from happening. 2.2 Features of a blockchain. According to, the following are the key features of a blockchain. In a blockchain system, transactions are recorded by a number of participants using a network which operates via the Internet. The same records are maintained by a number of different parties. As a transaction is entered, it is recorded by not just two parties, but instead by all of the parties that make up the overall chain. This can happen because all the records in the blockchain are publicly available and distributed to everyone that is part of that network. When a transaction takes place, e.g., between a buyer and a seller, the details of that deal are recorded by everyone: the value, the time, the date, and the details of those parties involved. All the ledgers that make up the blockchain are updated in the same way, and it takes the agreement of all participants in the chain to update their ledgers for the transaction to be accepted. The process of verifying the transaction is carried out by computers. It is effectively the computers which make up the network that audit the transaction. If all the computers review the transaction and verify that the details are correct, the systems of all participants in the blockchain have updated records. The computers work together to ensure that each transaction is valid before it is added to the blockchain. This decentralized network of computers ensures that a single system cannot add new blocks to the chain. When a new block is added to a blockchain, it is linked to the previous block using a cryptographic hash generated from the contents of the previous block. This ensures that the chain is never broken and that each block is permanently recorded. It is intentionally difficult to alter past transactions in the blockchain because all the subsequent blocks must be altered first. It is this control aspect of blockchain technology which addresses the main concern of cybersecurity. If anyone should attempt to interfere with a transaction, it will be rejected by those network parties making up the blockchain whose role it is to verify the transaction. If just one party disagrees, the transaction will not be recorded. 2.3 Typical stages in a blockchain transaction. Source: ACC_CIMIC_E1_202201, 2021:147. 2.4 The relevance of blockchain technology to finance professionals. Much of the accountancy profession is concerned with ascertaining or measuring rights and obligations over property, or planning how best to allocate financial resources. For accountants, using blockchain provides clarity over ownership of assets and existence of obligations and can dramatically improve efficiency. Ultimately, blockchain provides an unalterable, transparent record of all accountancy-related data. Examples of how blockchain can enhance the accounting profession include the following. Reducing the costs of maintaining and reconciling ledgers. Providing absolute certainty over the ownership and history of assets, the existence of obligations and the measurement of amounts owed to a business and owed by a business. Helping accountants gain clarity over available resources. Freeing up resources to concentrate on planning and valuation, rather than record-keeping. 3. Fourth Industrial Revolution. The phrase Fourth Industrial Revolution, 4IR, is defined as the advent of a cyber-physical system, CPS, involving entirely new capabilities of people and machines. While these capabilities are reliant on the technologies and infrastructure of the Third Industrial Revolution, 3IR, 4IR represents entirely new ways in which technology becomes embedded in societies and even our human bodies. Examples include genome editing, new forms of machine intelligence, breakthrough materials, and approaches to governance that rely on cryptographic methods such as blockmail. Davis, 2016. Thus, the 4IR is the age that represents revolutionary changes to everything and describes the phenomenon as it aptly applies to both the technical shift of Second Machine Age, 2MA, and how people will live in it. In the 2MA, the technological progress in digital hardware, software and networks is about automation of knowledge. It is underpinned by a. Exponential growth of Moore's law yielding a new regime of computing, b. The digitalization of everything, and c. The emergence of an infinite number of combinational possibilities for innovation of the two. In this regard, transition is profound, and the pace is massive amounts of data being collected. Penprace, 2018. Therefore, the 4IR can be generalized as a rapid and major change in an economy, driven by a shift in the methods and types of work undertaken. It is a new phase where the fusion of several technologies is not only automating production, but also knowledge. Thus, the changes that are occurring are happening now because humans have finally developed the computing capacity to store massive amounts of data, which in turn enable machine learning. The outcome of this is the development of CPS, which emerged in Germany around 2000. In 2016, the 4IR officially sounded an alarm that labor costs were about to be disrupted and the way we live and work would be permanently altered by the introduction of CPS. Davis, 2016, Penprace, 2018. 3.1 Understanding of CPS. The term cyber-physical system was coined in 2006 by the U.S. National Science Foundation, USNSC, with the hosting of several workshops on artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics. CPSs are physical and engineered systems where operations are monitored, coordinated, controlled and integrated by a computing and communication core. How we live and work is transformed by CPS and other new technologies such as 3D printing, the Internet of Things, blockchain and artificial intelligence. Just as the Internet transformed how humans interact with one another, CPS transforms how we interact with the physical world around us. 3.2 Emergence and Navigating the Industrial Revolutions. Technologies emerged and are emerging that affect our lives in ways that are unimaginable. The First Industrial Revolution, 4IR, occurred roughly between 1760 and 1830. Characterized by the generation of steam, the development of craft industries and mechanical production equipment, it fundamentally changed the basis of the economy of the time for many countries. It entailed a shift from our reliance on animals, human effort, and biomass as primary source of energy to the use of fossil fuels and mechanical power. Furthermore, it constituted a shift from rural, agricultural life to urban, industrialist societies. The Second Industrial Revolution, 2IR, took place from 1870 to 1914, thus between the end of the 19th century and the first 2 decades of the 20th century. It was characterized by the division of labor, the generation of electricity, and mass production. It brought major breakthroughs in the form of electricity distribution, both wireless and wired communication, and new forms of power generation. This saw the growth of vast corporations and a wave of globalization. Third Industrial Revolution, 3IR. It began in the 1950s with the development of digital systems, communication, and rapid advances in computing power, which have enabled new ways of generating, processing, and sharing information. It also emerged with the development of information technology, IT, and electronics, which enabled more efficient production. In 1969, it manifested as electronics, IT, automation, and production. It saw a move from mechanical and analog technology to the digital technology of today and is known as the digital revolution. Developments and improvements in communications, computers, and the introduction of the Internet were some of the key drivers of this period of rapid change. We are now in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, 4IR. 3.3 Features of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Each industrial revolution above impacted society in their own specific way. The characteristics predicted to define the 4IR include: fusion. Cyber and physical systems will continue to fuse, becoming increasingly autonomous. Employment. Robotics, automation, and digitization are predicted to make many jobs redundant or fundamentally different to today. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, improved computing speed and optimized supply chains enable products to be customized more easily and more cheaply. Machine-led manufacturing, the shift from machines helping workers manufacture to workers helping machines, will accelerate. Improved asset management, benefits to the natural world through more efficient use of natural assets, a shift to renewables, innovations in recycling, coupled with digitization, are anticipated to benefit the natural world. ACC_CIMAC_E1_202201, 2021:133. 3.44 IR in new jobs. The most discussed issue is the potential for 4IR to increase unemployment, and thus drive inequality. Many of the new jobs that will exist even 10 years from now cannot be predicted or imagined yet. However, it is predicted that the well-paying jobs are expected to involve creativity, data analytics, and cybersecurity, as there is dearth of talent in this area. What is known is that the skills needed to take full advantage of the automation economy are different from those that have been emphasized by higher education, institutions in the past. According to the World Economic Forum, WEF, Future of Jobs Report, the top 10 skills that will be needed in order of priority by employers by 2020 are: complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision-making, service orientation, negotiation, cognitive flexibility, active listening and quality control, which were the skills identified as needed in 2015, are no longer needed and were replaced by cognitive flexibility and emotional intelligence in 2020. This is because, as work becomes automated, it will also become much more fluid, needing employees to be agile and able to jump between very different types of tasks and contexts. Penprace, 2018. 3.5 Major Areas of Concern. In his article published by World Economic Forum Global Agenda, Davis, 2016, predicts 3 major areas of concern. These are inequality, security, and identity, as explained below. Inequality. The richest 1% of the population now owns half of all household wealth, according to Credit Suisse's Global Wealth Report of 2015. Oxfam's new report presents an even more dramatic concentration of assets, finding that 62 individuals controlled more assets than the poorer 3.6 billion people combined, or half of the world's population. On the eve of the World Economic Forum, Sanders and Price. (2018) revealed that Australia's richest 1% owned 23% of the country's wealth. In the previous year, the figure had risen to 22%, more than the bottom 70% combined. Security. Increasing inequality does not only affect production, mental health and trust, but also creates security concerns for both citizens and states. The Forum's Global Risks Report 2016 highlighted that a hyper-connected world, when combined with rising inequality, could lead to fragmented segregation and social unrest. Davis, 2016. This mix of factors creates the conditions for violent extremism and other security threats enabled by power shifting to non-state actors. The combination of a digital world with emerging technologies is creating new battle spaces and expanding access to lethal technologies. This makes it harder to govern and negotiate among states to ensure peace. Identity, voice, and community. As reflected above, 4IR is the first where the tools of technology can become literally embedded within us and even purposefully change who we are at the level of our genetic makeup. It is important that the emerging technologies of the 4IR increase diversity and the potential for collaboration rather than driving polarization. Emerging technologies, particularly in the biological realm, are also raising new questions about what it means to be human. 3.6 Role of higher education institutions in the era of 4IR. According to Penprace, 2018, he is changing around the world already, as a result of the fast-shifting global economy and types of employees and thinkers it demands. Thus, he is at the center of massive change and transformation along with the rest of society, as it is accessible to more people, more places, and more ways than ever in human history. Evidently, it needs to change to better prepare thinkers of the 4IR, and several good books have already been released on what needs to change. However, the importance of interdisciplinarity is emphasized throughout, as learners of all ages must meet the challenges of the automation economy with creativity and curiosity, automation being a tangible reality for anyone in higher education. Among others, the following key observations were made. Today's he was designed to meet the needs of past industrial revolutions, with mass production powered by electricity. Those systems are not suited for the automation economy. Today's learners of all ages are faced with major challenges in demographics, population, both growing and shrinking, global health, literacy inequality, climate change, nuclear proliferation and much more. Thus, as they leave university, the 4IR world makes significantly different demands on them than have previously existed. The design, construction and verification of CPS pose a multitude of technological challenges that must be addressed by a cross-disciplinary community of researchers and educators. Information transfer is no longer the sole purview of institutions of higher education. Everyone is now responsible for lifelong learning and upskilling as the skills that will carry one through as the content will always be changing. To develop these skills, learning must go way beyond information transfer. Although traditional undergraduate, graduate and research education will remain important to society, space must be created for adult learners to continue their learning as well. In collaboration with governments and industry, he must prepare lifelong learners together. Whatever was promised before by completing an EE degree, is not promised any longer. Neither a high school or undergraduate education, nor a master's degree or a PhD is enough. Nearly everyone will work with AI. This means, what one majored in will not determine one's job or career. The content and a deep understanding of it matters, but it is also about what one can do with it. The information transferred through the traditional lecture and test format does not get the student up very high in cognitive capacity ranks of higher-order thinking. Therefore, education is a mechanism that must propose learning that serves to interact with the context that demands certain skills to be efficient. Thus far, the change in EE has been considered inadequate, although some institutions are trying to adapt. As classified by Bloom's taxonomy of higher learning, remembering, understanding, applying, analysis, evaluating and creativity are 6 levels of learning and knowing, Penprace, 2018. Ultimately, university systems are responsible for training the accounting professionals in the development of new skills of the new accountant and auditors. This requires the innovation and updates that respond to the 4IR, without neglecting the social and ethical responsibilities of anti-corruption. Gomez Mendez and Janampa Acuna, 2020. 3.7 Skills Level of Public Accountants in the Digitalist Economy. According to Stablings, 2020, accounting and data processing are intertwined, but the development of concepts that adequately reflect the changing situation is delayed. During the last 2 decades, institutions have focused on integrated internal data processing and receiving data from or transference to other institutions using communication infrastructure. Now, the focus is on uploading data, fixed paper documents, to computer media without using the keyboard, because this task requires a lot of staff time and diligence. The use of computer version devices and elements of AI allows automation accounting data input processes. A study conducted by Gomez Mendez and Janampa Acuna, 2020, intended to find whether public accountants are qualified to face the 4IR and analyze the professional skills of accounting to provide services in the digitalist economic entities in Peru, reached the following conclusions. Although the 4IR does not replace public accountants, they do require new skills. Accounting practice, which is a science that accountants cannot escape, is not immune to the changes of globalization and digital internalization. Thus, for chartered accountants, CAs, the arrival of the 4IR poses a dilemma common to the profession. Accountants, accounting and auditing professionals, are, in reality, not prepared to take on and not ready to face the challenges of the 4IR. They seem to fail in critical thinking, analysis, and solving complex problems. Skills that continue to grow in importance towards 2022 include analytical thinking, innovation, active learning and learning strategies, as well as human skills such as creativity, originality, and initiative. The accounting profession must expand its horizons and open itself to the internalization of financial markets and the advances of ICT and big data, which are required to meet the demands of business organizations and users of information. The users of information and big data and users of information topics are covered comprehensively in study units 1 and 6, respectively. For enterprise systems. These are accounting information systems, AIS. According to Klaus, Rosman and Gable, 2000, enterprise systems are commercial software packages that enable integration of transactions-oriented data and business process throughout an organization. They include enterprise resource planning, ERP, software and related packages, such as advanced planning and scheduling, Salesforce automation, and product configuration. 4.1 What is an ERP? Many organizations prefer to use one computer system that can be used throughout the organization by integrating all the functions. Thus, ERP is that system integrating management information through the management of the flow of data across the entire enterprise, Quality and Basahel, 2014. In this regard, it integrates the data gathering and data processes of departments and functions into one single system of integrated applications. It handles the vital operations of the entire organization and often includes some functions of the strategic and technical level of the organization as well. Examples of an ERP are SAP and Oracle, Boyes, Leonard, Scott and Viviers, 2017. These will be dealt with below. 4.2 Why companies buy an ERP system. According to Quality and Basahel, 2014, companies acquire the system because of the following. The application of ERP systems improves the performance of an organization in its daily operations by addressing inefficiency of institutional processes. Through automating business processes, operational efficiency is enhanced, and access to information eased. To simplify the management and operations of large-scale companies that have grown organically or through acquisition, where this involves multiple currencies, offices, or business areas. To replace or upgrade an outdated, unwanted or ineffective existing ERP system. This can involve improved information management through the promotion of access to information, reducing duplication and improving predictive capabilities. ERP deals with many complex and overlapping business problems. Most organizations expect to receive trade benefits through ERP implementation. One of these benefits is to achieve the financial goals of the company through productivity gains and efficiency resulting from business process automation. 4.3 Application of an ERP system. According to Faccia, Mostino, Fad and Capitanio, 2019, AIS are fundamental for the recording of accounting transactions and for the preparation of financial statements, as required by the legislation governing financial accounting. Thus, the application of ERP has contributed to numerous changes in accounting information systems in the modern era of networked computing. The most significant are: elimination of routine tasks of accountants, since the tasks that were once performed by accountants are now performed by computers. In fact, they are aimed at serious tasks such as analysis and performance measurement. Although the application can imply the loss of some basic traditional accounting skills, the requirements that are set before the accountants are not reduced in scope and complexity. Operational management processes require a lot more accounting knowledge, which confirms the necessary decentralization of that knowledge. Additionally, the management is responsible for its own activities. A large part of routine accounting tasks is done centrally and automatically, while the coordination and preparation of various operational reports are entrusted to the ERP. Some of the traditional accounting tasks are transferred to other employees in the enterprise, the most important being the issue of adequate high-quality information support to management owing to ERP. On the basis of advanced technology, the so-called centers of excellence arise, that is, the teams of specialists who perform more demanding tasks, such as statutory, financial, and tax reporting, including internal audit. Also refer to Study Unit 2 on the Accounting Information System Implementation in an ERP Environment and Decision-Making. Input. The following diagram explains an ERP system, Boys et al., 2017. Figure 11.1, Explanation of an ERP SYSTEM. 4.4 Advantages and disadvantages of an ERP system. They are presented in the following table. Advantage. Disadvantage. Any authorized user, restricted to a profile, linked to the server with a computer, has access to the authorized information. An ERP is expensive and time-consuming to implement. An ERP is a system that is implemented throughout the organization. It is difficult to implement changes. It makes processes and workflow more efficient. Risks arise when using only one vendor. It eliminates expensive and inflexible systems. Has a familiar interface, menus across all modules. If implementation fails, all departments have a problem. It improves tracking and forecasting. Data only captured once will then be available to all modules connected to ERP. It might fail to live up to expectations, however, this is a risk inherent to. It is easier to upgrade only one system. Any system. 4.5 Role of accountants. With the rise of implementation of ERP at the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st, public accountants have an imperative to develop new skills and competencies to manage information systems. They must be broadly knowledgeable about digital data and achieve the valid evaluation of the overdose of digital information. Increasingly, their work is becoming more complex. The more demanding role of accountants implies high analytical ability of data interpretation, a broad knowledge of the business and information technology, a willingness for teamwork, strategic thinking, communication and interpersonal skills, as well as the ability of ethical evaluation and decision-making. On the other hand, management accountants are required to have a much higher level of knowledge of multidisciplinary tasks, Sanchez-Rodriguez and Sprakeman, 2012. 5. SAP. As mentioned above in defining what an ERP is, through a single, comprehensive ERP system, many companies have introduced new systems that help in upgrading and managing their daily business, reserves, and processes, and linking the sections. Many companies specialize in building these systems. The most famous such company is SAP, which produced a product that bears its name, SAP. The SAP program, which began in 1972, was developed initially by 3 German programmers working for International Business Machinery, IBM. Its main activity is to produce management programs that help enterprises improve their businesses and connect them into one system. The objective was to ensure its coherence and efficiency without having to use several software systems from different companies, which are expensive and most often purchased by the largest companies. SAP has evolved the software until it has become a comprehensive program for all sections of a company, whether small, medium or large. The applications in SAP are called modules and they are connected, but usually one can buy one module or more separately according to one's needs. It is now one of the latest companies that provide practical business solutions, Kualdi and Bahel, 2014. 6. Relationship between SAP and ERP software. SAP was found to be one of the best, the most popular and the most widely accepted ERP software in a study conducted in Serbia. However, results showed the following. The process of implementation of SAP in its initial phases is complex, and more attention is devoted to configuring the basic modules. In one of enterprises surveyed, the implementation process itself has lasted for more than 18 months and has still not ended. This resulted in simultaneously using both SAP and the old software solution. Thus, a longer time necessary for the full implementation of SAP can be conducted in a subsequent appearance of expected effects. A time gap was identified between the moment of the implementation of the system and the first positive effects less involved with data entry, thus allowing them to undertake more analysis, as non-financial information is more extensive. 6.1 Management accounting changes for companies using SAP. The role of management accountants has changed significantly. A study was done by Malinik and Nirjana, 2012, in relation to how management accounting changed under the influence of ERP and industrial enterprise, given the intensive application of ERP systems for the companies using SAP. It was concluded that SAP reduces the time required for the traditional tasks of management accounting, while increasing the time required for the activities of data analysis, performance measurement, and subtle strategic reporting. Although SAP does impact the management accounting, that impact is relatively modest in relation to the expectations. Thus, there is no strong causal relationship between implementation of SAP and changes in practice of management accounting. That is, the stabilizing effect on management accounting is more widespread. 7. Oracle. Since Oracle Database is a popular product, its performance will impact many applications in information systems. With the development of computer network and database technology, information management has become the core of many enterprises. While database is all business foundation, its importance is self-evident. Oracle is a relational database, attempting to stay the world leader and maintain the biggest market share. But, in the early days in China, although a large relational database, generally only large enterprises were able to use it. Along with the shared SQL, a multi-thread server system structure was introduced. This greatly reduced Oracle resource usage and increased Oracle compatibility and processing ability, on a low-grade soft hardware platform with fewer resources to use. According to Greenwald, Stackowiak, and Stern, 2013, over the past approximately 30 years, Oracle grew from being one of many vendors that developed and sold a database product to being widely recognized as the database market leader. In Oracle, the term database refers to the physical storage of information, and the term instance refers to the software executing on the server that provides access to information in the database and the resources that software uses. Oracle includes many features that make the database easier to manage. Although early products were typical of a startup company, the Oracle database grew such that its technical capabilities are now often viewed as the most advanced in the industry. The foundation of Oracle's database server is known as Oracle Database 12c. 7.1 Oracle Database 12c. Oracle releases new versions of the flagship's database every 3 to 5 years. With each database release, Oracle has improved the scalability, functionality, and manageability of the database. New releases typically follow themes and introduce a significant number of features. In recent releases, these themes are indicated in the product version's naming. Typically, the terms Oracle and database are used when describing them. In 2012, Oracle Database 12c appeared to be used somewhat interchangeably as it included all the features of previous versions. It was released in 2013 and introduced a number of deployments. Today, Enterprise Manager 12c continues to be a framework used for managing the database. Greenwald, Stackowiak, and Stern, 2013. 7.2 Managing the Oracle Database. Manageability and rapid provisions features are especially useful in the private and public cloud computing environment, where hardware infrastructure and the database are delivered as a service over a network, building upon capability introduced in previous releases. There are 3 fundamental types of physical files that make up an Oracle database. They are: control file, data file, Redo log files. Oracle also offers an application server and Fusion middleware business intelligence tools and business applications, the eBusiness Suite, PeopleSoft, J.D. Edwards, Siebel, Hyperion and Fusion, among others. 7.3 Database Application Development Features. Oracle database is typically used to store and retrieve data through applications. All versions of the Oracle database include language and interfaces that enable programmers to access and manipulate the data in the database. Database programming features usually interest developers who create Oracle-based applications to be sold commercially, or information technology organizations building applications unique to their business. Data in Oracle can be accessed using SQL/XML, XQuery, and WebDev. Programs deployed within the database can be written in PL/SQL and Java, Greenwald, Stackowiak, and Stern, 2013. 7.4 Optimization of Oracle System. Optimizing the Oracle system is becoming more and more important, Yang and Yang, 2012. According to Park et al., 2020, as blockchain-based application and research into, for instance, cryptocurrency increase, an Oracle problem to bring external data in the blockchain is emerging. Among the methods to solve the Oracle problem, a method of configuring practice-based transport layer support, TLS, and existing Internet infrastructure have been proposed. However, these methods have the disadvantage of not supporting privacy protection for external data, and limitations in configuring the process of a smart contract based on external data verification for automation. 7.5 Pastel. According to Tapong & Jones, 2018, Sage Pastel accounting software is the preferred choice for many businesses. The accounting, payroll, ERP and business solutions allow for effortless daily financial management. This will enable customers to go beyond accounting and focus on business. 8 E-commerce and digitalization. In years to come, we will look at 2020 as the moment that changed everything. Nowhere else has such unprecedented and unforeseen growth occurred as in the digital and e-commerce sectors amid the COVID-19 crisis. While most sectors experienced slowing economic activity, COVID-19 has led to a surge in e-commerce and accelerated digital transformation. As lockdown became the new normal, business and consumers increasingly went digital, providing and purchasing more goods and services online, raising e-commerce share of global retail trade from 14% in 2019 to about 17% in 2020. These and other findings are showcased in a new report, COVID-19 and E-commerce, a global review, by UNCTAD and E-Trade, for all partners, reflecting powerful global and regional industry transformation recorded throughout 2020. At an event to release the report, UN General Assembly President, Bozkır, said that the trend towards e-commerce was likely to continue throughout the recovery from COVID-19. Thus, we need to recognize the challenges and take steps to support governments and citizens as they continue to embrace new ways of working. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, all e-trade partners have worked together to raise awareness of the e-commerce opportunities and risks emerging during the crisis. They also identified ways in which businesses in developing countries could overcome the challenges. In this regard, the COVID-19 repository launched in the fall of 2019 and e-commerce report are the initiative's latest collective efforts to build a sustainable digital future. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development News, March 15, 2015. (8.1) E-commerce. Electronic commerce, also known as e-commerce, is the online business process of selling, buying, delivering, servicing and paying for products and services over computer networks such as the WWW or the Internet. The objective of e-commerce is to add and expand revenue streams, enhance relationships with customers and business partners, and improve efficiency using computer networks. It is important to remember that although the largest part of e-commerce is conducted entirely electronically, some part will entail manual interaction, as a service that has to be rendered or a product that is sold must be physically transported and delivered to a customer. Driven by e-commerce capabilities to empower clients, many companies are moving from the traditional push business model, where manufacturers, suppliers, distributors and marketers have most of the power, to a customer-driven pull model, ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201, 2021:155. 8.2 The main e-commerce categories. According to UNICEF Boys et al., 2017, e-commerce can be divided in 5 main categories, differentiated according to the participants. Business to business, B2B. Both participants in the electronic transaction are organizations, for example when a wholesaler sells to a retailer. Depending on the e-commerce interface provided by the wholesaler, possibly through its extranet, the retailer will be able to place orders, track the delivery of the orders, search for new products and so on, all online. Business to consumer, B2C. This is one of the better-known e-commerce categories and involves an organization selling its product or service directly to the public. You, a UNICEF student, can for example electronically order and pay for your prescribed textbooks using www.kalahari.net or www.vanshyke.com. The business Van Shyke bookstore sells textbooks, the product, directly to you, the UNICEF student as customer. Biterbuy, www.biterbuy.co.za, is another well-known example, where the sellers are often businesses, but a C2C site as well. Consumer to consumer, C2C. C2C is an online version of the classified pages of a newspaper, or consumers can sell their products or services directly to other consumers. Gumtree and Junkmail are good examples of C2C e-commerce sites. Consumer to business, C2B. This is a less well-known and used category, where a consumer can post his request for a product or service online, indicating the details for the product or service needed, that is, amount available, delivery dates and other specifications. Organizations can then review the consumer's requirements and bid on the project. Based on the bids, the consumer can then select the organization that delivers the product or service. E-government, this allows governments to transact with organizations, their citizens, and other governments. For example, SARS e-filing. www.sarsefiling.co.za can be used by organizations and citizens to file their tax returns and make payments to SARS. South African citizens can inquire about their ID book, passport and permit application status and can verify their marital and ID status by using the Department of Home Affairs website, www.homeaffairs.gov.za. 8.3 Action Points for e-commerce. They are: governments need to prioritize national digital readiness so that more local businesses can become producers of digital economy, and not just consumers. Building an enabling e-commerce ecosystem requires changes in public policy and business practices to improve the digital and trading infrastructures, facilitate digital payments and establish appropriate legal and regulatory frameworks for online transactions and security. The approach should be holistic. Policies should not be made in silos. To capture value from digital trade, entrepreneurship must become central focus. This requires faster digitalization for smaller businesses and more attention to digital entrepreneurship, including reskilling, especially of women. Countries also need better capabilities to capture and harness data and stronger regulatory frameworks for creating and capturing value in the digital economy. The international community needs to find new, bold, and smart ways to work with governments and the private sector to leverage these opportunities. According to Bosker, the digital divide, which was real long before COVID-19, is a challenge which can be removed through our collective efforts and international support. Source: UNCTAD article, How COVID-19 Triggered the Digital and E-Commerce Turning Point, 2021. 8.4 Advantages and Disadvantages of E-Commerce. Advantages. Disadvantages. Direct customer relations. Organizations can interact directly with their customers, thereby eliminating third parties, the intermediary. Through this direct contact with customers, organizations can obtain knowledge of their customers' buying behavior and preferences. Using this intimate customer knowledge, customer service can be enhanced, and customer loyalty increased. A further effect of the elimination of third parties is that services and products can be offered to customers at reduced cost. Product expectations not met. Customers are not physically able to touch or see the products, as only pictures and/or descriptions of the products and goods are available on the business website. The customer's expectations of the product/service bought and then actually received may be materially different. This can cause customer complaints and negatively affect the organization's reputation. The Consumer Protection Act 68 of 2008 protects customers where products delivered are not the promised product. Always open for business. While most traditional business are limited to working hours, organizations using e-commerce are open 24/7, that is, 24 hours 7 days a week. These prolonged shopping hours make IT more convenient for their customers. Technological costs. Appropriate hardware, software and staff with the correct technical skills are needed to set up and operate an effective e-commerce site. The costs to obtain and maintain these items can be material. Access to global markets. Through e-commerce, organizations can reach customers anywhere in the world, as long as the customer has internet access. This allows an organization to explore new markets and opportunities, as it is not limited to the geographical area in which the organization has physical stores. Global access offers opportunities for developing organizations and countries, and levels the playing field. Source: Boyes et al., 2017. 8.5 Digitalization. Digitalization refers to the technical process of converting analog or traditional paper-based tasks or processes to digital form so that computers can help in accessing, storing and transmitting information. By contrast, it refers to socio-technical process of leveraging digitalist products or systems to develop new organizational procedures, business models, or commercial offerings. Thus, it denotes partially or fully converting elements of firm value chain activities and business models to using emergent digital technologies. Amankwah, Khan, Wood and Knight, 2021. Study Unit 5, which deals with the broad concepts of digital disruption, forms the basis of understanding the concepts of applying digitalization and what to consider towards being digitalist, especially post-COVID-19, which is seen as the great accelerator of digitalization. 8.6 Applying digitalization in enterprises and redefining business models. A business model, BM, is a function that maps business enterprise to its customers and/or stakeholders. The success of a business idea depends significantly on the comprehensive development, durability, and mapping of the parameters of the applied BM. It is evident that a successful BM is strongly linked to rigorously scrutinized and established BMs, anticipating the significance of the interactions among the established BMs and certain newer BMs for better value to customers. Framework was coined and developed, Kumar and Lindgren, 2017. As digitalization is redefining products and BMs worldwide, evidence abound in the construction industry as a sector that is slow to its adoption. While digitalization tools have been applied in modifying processes or procedures in the global north, a larger percentage of the sector in the global south is yet to be disrupted. For indigenous firms to join rapid transformation, the interrelationships between digitalization and building information modeling was studied. Results revealed production task and goal attainment, information or communication technologies, workforce, innovation, learning and knowledge management, as well as conflict and dispute resolution as the prevalent cultural orientation. The availability of resources to communicate, interact and collaborate digitally and leadership to organize and coordinate digitally are the top two strategic capabilities. On strategy, firms need support from institutions or government on policies that will cushion the effect of the provisions of resources for transformation. Zakaria and Ijayala, 2020. 8.7 Fast Tracking of Digitalization by COVID-19. Inspired by a burgeoning of scholarly interest in the role of digitalization in the COVID-19 pandemic, Amankwa Moa et al., 2021, conducted a study on how it was driving and constraining the digitalization of business around the globe. They established that it is the great accelerator in fast-tracking the existing global trend towards embracing modern emerging technologies, ushering in transformation in lifestyle, work pattern, and business strategy. Thus, it has evolved to be a catalyst for the adoption and increasing use of digitalization in work organizations and the office, alongside presenting foreseen and unforeseen opportunities, challenges and costs, leading to positive feedback. Whilst digitalization may bring new opportunities, the process imparts risks that may be hard to mitigate or prepare for. 8.8 Barriers in the adoption of emerging technologies. The adoption of emerging technologies may be hindered by vested external interest, nostalgia, and employer opportunism, as well as negative effects on employee well-being that undermine productivity, work-life balance, and future of work. Despite the importance and effects of digitalization, coupled with emergent research on implications of the pandemic, and the proliferation of accounts on COVID-19's likely impact, scholarly work exploring the challenges confronting firms and their workers in transitioning to digital technologies in the wake of this new environment challenge is only emerging. Psychological barriers to the adoption of these emerging technologies are hampering the efforts of firms and their decision-makers to embrace digital platforms. With digitalization, the stakes are high. 8.9 Areas of technology that will thrive post the pandemic. In an article, Mika Ruokanen, business director at Futurus, identified 4 areas that are set to boom post the pandemic. Data-enabling healthcare initiatives will increase. With the right privacy links in place, the resulting massive increase in healthcare data represents an opportunity for various data and artificial intelligence, AI. Specialists will develop useful solutions that will help reduce risks of contagion and relieve consumer anxiety, while also providing reassurance to help them cope with these difficult times. As consumers focus much more on their health, testing is the order of the day, whether for COVID-19 or other medical conditions. Scalable digital business models, BMs, will start replacing product-focused operations, as COVID-19 pressurizes the global supply chains of companies such as Best Buy, Wayfair, Nike and Gap. Companies will increasingly start to build resilience in their businesses with complementary product-focused models with scalable and stable digital alternatives. This might include business diversifying from their core offer to sell data and AI assets to third parties. For example, supermarkets such as Walmart already sell point-of-sales data to brands who use it to ensure adequate stock of products in their warehouse and to promote real-time availability of their product in grocery stores. Beyond retail, we can expect the digital-enabled sharing economy to accelerate and to B2B much more rapidly as businesses face urgent pressure to find smart and quick ways to slash costs and monetize existing assets. E-commerce will experience a renaissance. Due to self-isolation, consumers who normally visit physical stores are increasingly shopping online. Consequently, e-commerce is booming, especially when it comes to tinned goods, pasta, health and sanitary products. The uptake in e-commerce will become permanent if people remain wary of mingling in real life and increasingly replace shop visits with online purchases. Some logistics platforms are already revamping their concepts to match the new market circumstances by enabling retailers to home deliver fast. Digital collaboration and entertainment tools should see an upsurge in valuation, as companies rapidly and, in some cases, also permanently move towards remote working. The market for digital collaboration tools such as Microsoft Teams, Google Hangouts, and Zoom is likely to grow exponentially. Zoom has already experienced a 50% increase in its share price since the start of 2020. Instead of visits to concerts, museums, and events, consumers are seeking equivalent augmented reality (AR) and virtual reality (VR) experiences which can be enjoyed safely while sitting on the sofa. Hand in hand with this, we are already seeing a growing demand for digital media and entertainment, including gaming, social media, news, video streaming, and books, as people seek to relieve boredom and fill time previously taken up with traveling and socializing face-to-face. Ruokanen, 2020. PwC, 2020, and Dimalgani, 2021, estimated that AR and VR applications have a potential to deliver a £1.4 trillion boost to the global economy by 2030. 8.10 Solutions. In sectors that are less impacted by the pandemic, businesses need to fundamentally rethink what creates value, what is important right now, and in the future, and what role digital innovation can play in making new things happen. Companies which stay human and customer-focused and manage to quickly innovate new digital businesses to solve problems created by the new condition are best placed to seize any nascent opportunities. Right now, it is essential for businesses to create and maintain a strong and pervasive digital culture. As work becomes increasingly remote, leadership styles, mindsets, habits, and ways of working matter now more than ever. Winning cultures encompass trust in people, transparency of work, caring for others, as well as continuous learning. Nurturing these important values during difficult times will ensure that firms retain their digital talent, get things done, and continue to thrive. Source: article by Mika Ruokanen, a business director at Futurus. 9 Current Trends. 9.1 Artificial Intelligence, AI. Although artificial intelligence techniques such as machine learning are not new, and the pace of change is fast, widespread adoption in business and accounting is still in relatively early stages. Increasingly, we are seeing systems that are producing outputs that far exceed the accuracy and consistency of those produced by humans. In the short to medium term, AI brings many opportunities for finance professionals to improve their efficiency, provide more insight, and deliver more value to businesses. In the longer term, AI brings opportunities for much more radical change, as systems increasingly carry out decision-making tasks currently done by humans. ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201 2021:474. AI, no doubt, will contribute to substantial improvements across all areas of accounting, equipping those in finance with powerful new capabilities, as well as leading to the automation of many tasks and decisions. Examples include using machine learning to code accounting entries and improve on the accuracy of rules-based approaches, enabling greater automation of processes. Improving fraud detection through more sophisticated, machine learning models of normal activities and better prediction of fraudulent activities. Using machine learning-based predictive models to forecast revenues. Improving access to, and analysis of, unstructured data, such as contracts and emails. ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201, 2021:474. Despite the opportunities that AI brings, it must be remembered that it does not replicate human intelligence. The strengths and limits of this different form of intelligence must be recognized, and we need to build an understanding of the best ways for humans and computers to work together. ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201, 2021:474. 9.2 Cloud and Mobile Computing. Cloud and mobile computing is computing based on the Internet. It avoids the needs for software, applications, servers, and services stored on physical computers. Instead, it stores these with cloud service providers who store these things on the Internet and grant access to authorized users. Benefits of cloud and mobile computing. Store and share data. Cloud services can often store more data than traditional, local physical drives, and the data can be shared more easily, regardless of physical location. On-demand self-service. Customers and users can gain access to technology on demand. For example, every time you download an app from iTunes or the Play Store, you are downloading it from a cloud service where it is stored. ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201, 2021:475. A simple example of how cloud and mobile computing might be of use to finance professionals can be seen in the budgeting process. Any organization which has a number of different locations, such as a multinational company, has historically experienced difficulties and time delays in constructing budgets which require input from people in different places. Cloud computing means that budget templates can be worked on simultaneously by many people, without them having to be in the same location. ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201, 2021:476. 10 Cryptocurrencies. Blockchain has the potential to deal with some unique sets of requirements like confidentiality and immutability and can therefore be deployed in many areas other than cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is a digital currency that was introduced in 2009. Other cryptocurrencies exist, such as Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, and Solana. Cryptocurrencies are being developed at a heightened and intensified rate, with decentralized finance, DeFi, and non-fungible tokens, NFS, being the latest additions to the crypto market. Bitcoin is the oldest cryptocurrency. There is no physical version of Bitcoin. All Bitcoin transactions take place over the Internet. Unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoin is decentralized, meaning it is not controlled by a single bank or government. Instead, Bitcoin uses a peer-to-peer, P2P, payment network made up of users with Bitcoin accounts. ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201, 2021. Bitcoin acquisition can be done using a Bitcoin exchange such as Luno, or Altcoin Trader in South Africa. Coinbase and Binance are the most popular crypto exchanges in the world. These exchanges allow users to exchange rands for bitcoins. Bitcoin mining involves setting up a computer system to solve maths problems generated by the Bitcoin network. As a Bitcoin miner solves these complex problems, between SAP and ERP software showed the following miner. The network is designed to generate increasingly more complex maths problems, which ensures that new bitcoins are generated at a consistent rate. When a user obtains bitcoins, the balance is stored in a secure wallet that is encrypted using password protection. When a Bitcoin transaction takes place, the ownership of the bitcoins is updated in the network on all ledgers, and the balance in the relevant wallets updated accordingly. ACC_SIMAC_E3_202201, 2021. Activity 11.1. Go to your eTutor site and complete this activity. The new current trends discussed in this study unit are artificial intelligence, cloud and mobile computing, and cryptocurrency. Many companies are said to be moving away from the traditional push business. Explain how you see these trends in this move by companies, as driven by e-commerce capabilities to empower clients, and the main categories of e-commerce, affecting the emerging role of accountants. Digital collaboration and entertainment tools are to see an upsurge in valuation as one of the areas of technology that will thrive post-COVID-19. Consequently, as companies rapidly and, in some cases, permanently move towards remote working, the market for digital collaboration tools such as Microsoft Teams, Google Hangouts, and Zoom is likely to grow exponentially. For example, Zoom has already experienced a 50% increase in its share price since the start of 2020. In addition, instead of visits to concerts, museums, and events, consumers are seeking equivalent AR and VR experiences which can be enjoyed safely while sitting on the sofa. Hand in hand with this, we are already seeing a growing demand for digital media and entertainment, including gaming, social media, news, video streaming, and books, as people seek to relieve boredom and fill time previously taken up with traveling and socializing face-to-face. Go to the discussion forum for Study Unit 11 and discuss the above with your fellow students. Describe how it would impact the barriers in the adoption of emerging technologies. The solutions would help reduce the impact on these barriers. The role of the accounting profession and accountants in general would be impacted. 11 Summary. In this study unit, you learned that we are living in a digital age, where, among others, the digital adoption, the new way of living and use of new technologies have been accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. We also speculated that things will not be the same and provided you with areas of technology that are predicted to thrive post the pandemic. We thus provided you with the concept of digital evolution by creating a better understanding of concepts such as blockchain, for IR, enterprise systems, SAP, Oracle, Pastel, e-commerce, and digitalization. Other new concepts that are currently trending were also introduced to you, such as artificial intelligence, cryptocurrencies, cloud, and mobile computing. In the next study unit, you will learn about the components of communication network in this digital age.